Welcome back to the Good Chill Hunting Podcast. How do you like them apples? Last week we were talking about counseling movies. Well, I think past couple of weeks we've been talking about counseling in movies because Riley and I are counselors in training. But Noah has kind of been hiding in a corner about his profession. Noah's a nurse, our resident nurse. And so the people want to know, who is your favorite nurse in a movie?
The easy answer is Rachel McAdams from Doctor Strange.
Okay. That's actually surprising. I thought you were going to say Marta from Knives Out.
Oh, that's a good one.
I changed my answer.
I love Marta.
Dude, actually, that's a funny thing to bring up because I saw Knives Out when I was in nursing school, and I just watching that movie on my Letterboxd review, I just talk about how that movie paints nurses in such a positive light. Like, not that, I don't know. It's just like a weird like takeaway from that movie. This whodunit murder mystery that's like a comedy, but the takeaway is that the world trusts nurses and that nurses are like good at their job and they know what they're doing. It's like, okay.
Do you feel like nurses get good representation in movies? Fair representation?
What movies represent nurses outside of Knives Out and Doctor Strange?
That one movie about a nurse who kills a lot of people.
That is based on a true story, so I guess that's technically accurate representation.
Well, maybe not nurses and doctors, because remember you watched the Sandra Bullock movie, chick flick.
Well, hospitals do not get accurate representation.
What was the name of that movie?
While you were sleeping?
While you were sleeping.
Well, yeah, that movie. Because, I mean, people have this concept of what it means to be in a coma. Did you think, like, donkey get bonked on the head and
coconut falls on your head?
Yeah, and then you're in a coma for 20 years. But to be in a coma is, like, it's like a Hollywood thing. Like, to be in a real coma, like, you're going to be on a ventilator, you're going to be on alternative feeding, you're going to be probably on some medication. So anyway, that movie, While You Were Sleeping, is a very poor representation. I'm trying to think, I think in Bullet Train, actually, because the whole motivation of one of the characters is to like save his son or kid or whoever who's in a coma. If that rings any bells. But I'm pretty sure they actually show like him being on a ventilator and on meds and stuff, and they talked about like they were going to kill him with like an air embolism. So I remember that scene. Yeah, so that was like accurate.
Nice. Riley, can you kind of speak to this nursing lingo, or can you kind of speak to almost being a nurse and almost being able to participate in nursing lingo?
Kind of, but also most of that lingo has gone out my head, like in one ear out the other ear, because I haven't been using that knowledge at all. So, but I was a big fan of the show Nurse Jackie growing up, so huge fan.
That sounds like Judge Judy, but it's a nurse.
What is Nurse Jackie?
I honestly don't know.
But I was a big fan.
I just know there's a show called Nurse Jackie that was pretty big. It seems like a show that my dad would watch.
Sounds
It's
like
like, Riley, we got to get home. Nurse Jackie's on at 7.
Yeah, it's Wednesday. Let's go.
I can see that. I guess I would go with Marta from Knives Out to answer your question.
I think that's
and she's
fantastic
not
answer.
too hard on the eyes. So on that note, what have we been watching? I'll start. So obviously, as you can tell by the title of this podcast, we are reviewing Deadpool and Wolverine. So we'll save that review, spoiler-free, and then spoilers till the end of the episode. But for now, we're talking about the other movies we've been watching. So I watched Logan in preparation for Deadpool and Wolverine. I'd never seen it. It was good. Not the best superhero movie that
a lot of people love.
I was going on Letterboxd, like after I submitted my review, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. So it's a pretty respectable score. Like everybody's giving it 4.5, 5 stars, and I'm just like, why? Or like, where's that like it's coming from Hugh Jackman's performance, very good performance. And as I talked about in my review, it's like when it's this really gritty sort of like just expose on this former hero just trying to live and escape his past. It's like that's compelling. But I think as the movie went on, I think X-23 is a compelling character as well, and the fact like taking on this fatherly caretaker role is compelling. But when it gets into more of the kids, all the kids have are mutants, and
I remember not liking that with the kid. Isn't there a kid that just like shoots lightning out of his fingers?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and it's like
that felt really out of left field.
Fine. Like obviously that's consistent with the X-Men, but it just for that movie specifically, it didn't feel like a superhero movie until they really reminded you that it's like, oh yeah, they're X-Men, they're superheroes, mutants. And so it just, I don't know. And then some of the other aspects, I was like, this just feels a little too. The writing didn't feel as original or original enough to warrant like the best superhero movie ever. It's a good movie. I like. Don't hear me say that, but
I think Noah and I've only watched it since we saw it in theaters, right?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
I think we both, like all three of us, are not as high as the rest of the internet. The internet loves Logan, and I think it deserves a rewatch, especially after watching Deadpool and Wolverine. But
yeah, so I don't like. It was good. I'm glad I watched it, especially watch that if you haven't seen it before you watch Deadpool and Wolverine. But it's probably the best Wolverine movie of that trilogy.
Oh, for sure.
Or like it is the best, but you
trilogy.
Yeah,
X-Men Origins Wolverine and the Wolverine.
I'd never thought of those as a trilogy until this moment.
The Wolverine and Logan were both directed by James Mangold. I guess I don't know who directed the first one.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's a movie. Glad I watched it, but it's not the best.
What was your rating of it?
3.5 out of 5 stars. So then the other movie I watched was 21 Jump Street. I'm just working through my Blu-ray catalog, so I was just like, what's a short, fun movie that I could rewatch? So that's just a fun movie. Like it doesn't really warrant any sort of explanation. It's just like,
good movie. What was the quote that you put in your review?
It's just so. Again, we're talking about like line deliveries, and that's not really line delivery, but it's just the line. They're just pulling up to the high school for the first time. They're driving this like Mustang or something, and then Jonah Hill's just like, oh, dude, park in that handicap spot to show people we're cool. And then Channing Tatum just like non-sequitur. He's just like, that's awesome. It's just you kind of get it from a high view as they're driving in. So it's just like this throwaway line that's just like, dude, park in that handicap spot so people think we're cool. That's awesome. I just thought that was funny.
Nice.
But yeah, so those are the movies I watched. Pretty and like I said, Deadpool, Wolverine, talk about it at the end.
Cool. I watched 4 movies this week. Deadpool and Wolverine obviously being one of them. So the other 3, I watched Monsters vs. Aliens, the DreamWorks movie from 2009. And I did not like it. We watched that one probably a dozen times growing up. We had it on DVD.
I would have figured you would have rated it, like just based off of memory. I feel like it would have rated higher than you rated it.
I mean, I don't know. I just all of the humans in that movie are like so ugly looking. Like it's just like it was a design choice, but it's just like
it's supposed to make the monsters look more attractive in comparison.
I mean, maybe, but I just don't like how they're designed. And then just I don't know, the story is just very meh. Like it just didn't work like I thought it would. As a kid, we watched it a ton and we loved it. And there was a few funny moments, like the president, it's voiced by Stephen Colbert. Pretty much every scene he's in is actually I got a couple chuckles out of.
Was it like we will switch to Code Brown as I go change my pants?
Yeah, that's funny. His scenes were good, but I don't know. Just as a whole, I don't think I'll ever go back to it. Then we watched The Truman Show, which is a classic. Truthfully, though, Monsters vs. Aliens, I rated it 2 stars out of 5. The Truman Show, I rated it 4 stars out of 5. Which is lower than I thought I might. because I've seen it a couple times, and in my head, I haven't rewatched it for like 6 years now, and in my head I was like, oh, this is gonna be a 5-star movie on rewatch. And I don't know, something about it. I think part of it is the score, which I just don't really care for. It's mostly just like piano, like if you can think of just like 90s piano tune, like I can't really define it any better than that.
We cannot think of that.
Well, if you go rewatch Truman Show, I think you'll know what I'm talking about.
Well, I watched it a few years ago. I gave it a 4.5, I think. Okay,
well, after we're done recording, if you Google or if you YouTube Truman Show score or whatever, I don't know. I don't care for just like some of the piano tunes, but Jim Carrey's really good in that. It's a very original concept.
Ed Harris plays a villain, like in every movie,
and he plays a really good villain.
And he wears a backward hat like you right now.
Am I in the Truman Show?
You are Ed Harris.
You are.
Hit us with Christoph. Hit us with shoot. What's the line from The Rock?
You walked in the gosh darn wrong room, soldier. Well, he doesn't say gosh darn.
Classic.
There's a funny line from that movie. Well, it's not funny, but it was just like I thought it was. I caught it where they're interviewing Christoph, who's Ed Harris, and the interviewer, he's like, "We thank you for taking the time to do this with us. We know how private you are, or how much you value your privacy," which I thought was just really interesting, contrasting to Truman, whose entire life is on display.
Yeah.
So Christoph is like protective of his own identity, but of Truman, he's like, the world deserves to see in everything that goes on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is good.
I thought that was kind of a funny little detail. But yeah, it's a really good movie. And the ending, like, you're just rooting for him when he's on the boat, he's getting away. Like, you're rooting for him. The people watching him are rooting for him.
Scully from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I don't remember that.
He's one of the extras. He's like a security guard watching the show.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway.
And then he gets to the exit, and Christoph is doing this whole monologue of basically how, like, you need me as much as I need you. Just come on back. It's safer. The real world is dangerous. And then Truman turns around and is like, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And he just walks out. It's like, okay, that's awesome. Really good ending to the movie. And then I watched The Departed, which that's a good movie. I don't really think I've seen a ton of like crime drama thrillers. And I really haven't seen too much Martin Scorsese, but The Departed that's a good movie.
I think it's Mark Wahlberg's best.
I just feel like
probably
we watched that at your house one time, like maybe when we were in high school, and we fell asleep with it on, and I woke up to like the most pivotal scene in the movie.
Probably.
I you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I just remember waking up and I had missed like however much up to that point, so I was just like, huh?
Yeah, that's too bad. Because like the whole like last 45 minutes is just like bang, bang, bang. Like they just come at you hard, and it's really good. I think performances across the board are top notch. Like you said, probably Mark Wahlberg's best performance.
I forget his line, but I really like, who are you? You must be the other guy, or something like that.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good. I don't really have a ton more to say on it.
Do you think that was a reference to the other guy's podcast?
You want me to cry right now?
Wouldn't be the first time you cried on camera.
What? Okay, I'm not gonna cry. So what I've watched recently, I've watched 2 movies. But what'd you give The Departed?
Oh, I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars.
Good score. I watched After Sun. It's a A24 movie. It came out in 2022, directed by Charlotte Wells, which is her first like feature film movie, which is like, I think is like outstanding. It's about a father and daughter go on this trip, and the story is basically around that trip. And I'm not a big A24 guy, especially the horror A24. I feel like it goes a lot of like demonic or culty stuff. And this one was just a story about a father and a daughter, and just like it starts to kind of like an onion. Like there's more layers.
Made you cry?
Yes. Just like an onion, you start to see more and more. And I think the more I really have thought a lot about this movie since watching it, and the more I've thought about, the more I like this movie, and the more I want to go back and watch it. I think the performances are great. Like the daughter's like she's wonderful. Like a lot of times with movies with kids, you get like not the best performances, but I think the girl in the movie, she really shows like just what child actors can do. And Paul Mescal is great.
How did you find, like, I had not heard of this movie.
Yeah. So
Same.
I'm wondering how you stumbled across
I listen to a lot of podcasts because I drive a lot, and one of the podcasts I listen to is called the Real Talk Podcast, and they were talking about some movies they really enjoyed recently, and this one came up. They have like a collection of all of them that give movies 5 stars, and this was one of those movies.
Oh, nice.
And
What'd you give it?
I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, but it's a movie I want to go back and rewatch, and I think it'll get higher.
Is it like a feel good movie?
I don't.
Without spoiling anything, of course.
I think it will make you feel. I'll just say that.
Not necessarily good.
It will make you feel.
Okay.
So,
I mean, sometimes that's what you want.
yeah.
That's
And
what you need from a movie.
it's what I wanted at that time, and I started the movie, and then I just watched like an hour, and I wasn't sold. I'm like, I don't see how this could be like a 5-star. But don't just watch the hour. Watch the whole thing. Like I fell asleep watching it the first time. Watch the whole thing, because like the whole movie, what makes the movie, and like I think the ending is like it's up there for. I just really enjoy the ending. It's like up there for a great ending of a movie. And then not a good movie. I watched X-Men Origin Wolverines to prepare for Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't know why I chose that one. Probably because it was the one I found on streaming and I couldn't find my Logan copy. But X-Men Origins Wolverine, I've seen it a couple times, and it's not good. Like everything I could say about After Sun is the opposite. Like the dialogue is atrocious, the editing is atrocious.
What about the part where Will.i.am was like, "Gotta get that boom boom boom, gotta get that boom boom boom."
Honestly, that's why it's not a 1-star. That Will.i.am brought it up a 0.5 star with that performance.
Of course.
Okay, I couldn't tell if you're being sarcastic or
I
not.
am being sarcastic.
Is it so bad it's good, or is it just so bad?
I think it's just really bad. Like not that it's good. Like it's.
Are you gonna ever go back and rewatch it?
I think I would only go back if it was like I'm with some friends and we just want to watch a kind of like a bad movie to have fun, to make fun of it. So I don't know if it's so bad it's good, but I just don't think I would watch it on my own.
Yeah.
Fruition. I don't know what word I'm saying.
Of your own volition.
Volition. That's the word I'm thinking of.
There you go.
So, yeah, I gave it 1.5 stars. And the only like pro of the movie is Hugh Jackman, which recently I think Hugh Jackman is climbing. Like, I just think he's fantastic in a lot of things that he's in.
He's good in The Prestige.
He's good in
Prisoners.
Movie 43.
He's good in Oklahoma.
Have you seen the movie 43?
No.
I think he literally has a
Yeah, he has like a ball sack on his.
chin. So,
Is it Oklahoma? Or no, he's in
Les Miserables.
The Great Showman.
Australia. Isn't that a...
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman.
I gotta look that up if he's in Oklahoma.
So,
I think he did like Broadway.
Yeah. I mean, he does musicals. But yeah, he's a real class act.
but I don't know if we didn't have X-Men Origin Wolverines, if we didn't have that movie, then we would have gotten what we gotten recently with Deadpool and Wolverine. So,
I mean, that movie gave us Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool.
yeah, but not the way we wanted it. But I think,
it saw the potential in him.
yeah, sometimes our setbacks will lead to better future.
Put that on a shirt.
Yeah. So
I'd buy it.
So-
I'd wear it.
but that's what I've been watching. After Sun, 4 out of 5, and X-Men Origins Wolverine, 1.5 stars. So
Nice. And stick around for our review of Deadpool and Wolverine at the end. But for now, we're trying out a new quick bit called Quick 5.
quick 5.
Quick 5 questions. One person gets to be in the hot seat every week. This week it's Riley. So Noah and I are going to rapid fire 5 questions, and Riley has not heard of these, does not know the questions, but he has to answer them.
Honestly,
Honestly.
And they're just 5 questions, not movie questions.
could be movie questions.
Could be, but not necessarily.
be anything.
Yep.
Okay.
Anything.
My first question: what is the most important responsibility of being an uncle?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think the number one, that it's tough when you think about number one, because I think just having a space for your nephews or nieces that they could, like, they're able to go to. Like, I'm a place where I'm hoping, like, when they grow up, or now, it's like Uncle Riley's fun. He's always gonna be there for me. Like, just, and then when they get older, I hope they're able to be like, okay, I need someone to talk to. I'm gonna go to Uncle Riley. Like, I want to always be available to them.
Solid answer.
Nice. Very, very good. Question number 2. Who is your celebrity crush?
Ooh, most of my life it's been like Margot Robbie, Elizabeth Olsen's up there. Recently, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I really like Ana de Armas is up there, or Haley Steinfeld. If I had to choose one,
You have to choose one.
probably Ana de Armas. I just watched Blade Runner 2049,
There you go.
and we talked about her earlier with Knives Out
That's right.
as Marta. She's very she's very beautiful. She's very gorgeous to me.
She is gorgeous to me.
I don't get that reference.
It's a clip of like a guy on a bus, and everyone's like talking. He's like, she's very gorgeous to me.
Nice. Question 3. What is your go-to energy drink and what flavor? That's 2 questions.
My go-to energy drink is Rain. I've drinking a lot of Rain in the past 3 years, and probably my go-to is Orange Dreamsicle.
Nice. Some say that that's better as a dessert than as a drink.
But some people just really like them, you know. Sometimes we just want a dessert for a drink.
Fair enough. Have a milkshake then. Question number 4.
Riley's like, glad.
Question number 4. What was a movie you watched on repeat growing up?
I saw this like twice in theaters, and then I watched it a lot growing up, was Catch That Kid.
Oh, good answer.
You just really wanted to be a spy.
Yeah, and I was like, I want those go-karts. I want to go underneath the semi
I
with the
remember
go-karts.
being kids, and you're like, you guys got to watch this movie. They've got go-karts, Corbin Blues in it.
It's a heist movie. There's a love triangle. You're gonna love it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good answer.
I think the boy's name's Max, and I was really hoping he would get with Kristen Stewart's character. Like, they would kiss. I think she kisses both of them.
Whoa.
But maybe I think
Challengers.
on the cheek though. I think
Oh, nice.
was it like the Challengers for kids?
Yeah,
Catch That
exactly.
Kid? That's
Whoa.
funny.
Last question. Deadpool or Wolverine?
Honestly, if it wasn't for Hugh Jackman, I would say Deadpool. But I think because of Hugh Jackman, I had to pick Wolverine. And we could talk more about this later, but I think Hugh Jackman is just, he's fantastic.
He's a huge jacked man.
I think
big veins.
Deadpool on his own can get too much sometimes. Like, I think he's hilarious. I love Deadpool, but honestly, sometimes he's too much. And I need a break. And I like the foil Wolverine gave him, so I'm gonna pick Wolverine.
Very good.
Fair enough. All right. So now we move on to our next segment. Well, first off, thank you for that quick 5.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anytime.
Next week, someone else is in the hot seat.
I thought it was just gonna be me the whole time.
We just really get to know Riley
Yeah.
on this podcast. All right, so for the next bit, I have another new segment for us. And this is not an original idea. It definitely has a name because we've played it before. But since I don't know the name of it, I came up with my own name. And so the name for this segment, this game, is called Last Man Standing. Not to be confused with the Tim Allen hit sitcom of the 2010s.
Conservative sitcom.
Yeah.
For all the red states.
So for Last Man Standing, I will provide a category, just a pretty fairly straightforward category, and it's your guys' job to name something that falls into that category. And the last man standing, i.e. the first person, the last man standing, the last one to offer a correct response wins. The first person to drop out, not be able to provide an appropriate response, loses.
And whoever loses will not be standing after this podcast.
Nice. Yeah, you guys have to stand up. Not really. But so yeah, the only two rules are: one, you have to provide an answer that falls within the criteria of the category. Two, you can't repeat answers. If you repeat an answer that you've already said or the other person has said, then that is an L for you as well.
Do we have a time limit on the answers?
Not you. Informally, I'm the game master. I get to create the rules. Time is a construct, so I will just say when time is up.
And your rule is law.
That's right. And I sentence you to death.
I win.
But I have so much to live for.
Well, there's the whole trial court process and everything. You still probably got a few more good years. But anyway, are you guys ready for round one of Last Man Standing?
Hit me.
I'm ready.
And I want to say as well, obviously you can't look up stuff, but if you want to use your laptop or write some answers down just so if they come to your head, just so you have them on standby, you can do that if you want.
I can't type that fast.
So for round one, it is Tom Cruise movies. We start with Noah. May the last man be left standing.
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible 2.
Mission Impossible 3.
All right, that's all the Mission Impossible movies.
Okay. Tropic Thunder.
Night and Day.
Oblivion.
Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher 2.
Jerry Maguire.
Vanilla Sky.
A Few Good Men.
Born on the 4th of July.
Magnolia.
Jerry Maguire.
No,
You said that.
You did?
Noah already said Jerry Maguire.
No!
He said it 2 answers ago.
Let's go.
Really?
Yeah, you said Vanilla Sky right after.
We were just going so fast.
There was-
I kind of blacked out for there for a second.
Rain Man.
The Outsiders.
Yeah.
The Color of Money.
Yep. Color Money.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Risky Business.
Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, we didn't say that.
I forgot Top Gun Maverick twice now.
Fake fan.
Yeah, you're a
Actually,
fake fan.
Just sentence me to die.
Cut the show.
Yeah.
I'm done. You sentenced me to death. I accept. All right. Are you ready for round 2?
Yeah. Gotta redeem myself.
Let's go.
You don't necessarily have to go rapid fire. I mean, if you got to take a second.
We don't know how much time we have.
Yeah. If we do, yeah, it's ambiguous.
That's true. I'll just leave you in that sort of anxious state. The second round category is movies that released in theaters in 2019 or movies that came out in 2019. Starting with Riley.
Parasite.
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh wait, Far From Home. Yeah, I thought you said No Way Home.
Is that correct?
Yep, that came out in 2019.
Wait, did that come out in 2018?
No, it came out. Nope, it was 2019.
You sure?
Yeah, it came out after another movie.
Oh, Avengers: Infinity War.
Endgame. Oh my gosh.
I corrected
Okay,
myself.
fine. We'll roll with it.
Okay.
We'll roll with it. Can you think of movies that you saw in theaters? Think about your Letterboxd.
I'm trying.
2019 was the first year we started using Letterboxd.
Yeah. Knives Out.
I forget what the movie's called. Shoot. I might lose again. A Wonderful Day in the Neighborhood. Is that what that movie's called?
I'll allow it.
Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, right?
I'll allow it.
A Beautiful Day.
Gosh, I don't remember if you said this. The Lighthouse.
Shoot. This is really... I'm trying to think of Oscar movies that got nominated. Oh no.
10 seconds.
Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know. I
think that won the Oscar in 2019, so it came out in 2018.
It didn't win Best Picture.
It got Best Actor.
Really? I was
2018.
I was gonna say Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. I mean, Detective Pikachu, Shazam, Aladdin, Peanut Butter Falcon, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Glass.
Wow.
I saw a lot of Ad Astra. I saw a lot of movies in theaters. Good Boys.
So I
Rise of Skywalker, Little Women, 1917, Jumanji, Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit.
No.
That's not right, is it?
Joker.
I thought about that, but then I thought that was a year prior. So I won, right? That's
Lion King.
two for two for
Yep. Noah's
me.
2 for 2.
Oh my gosh.
I have one more round, so
Aladdin.
it's too late for you to win, Riley, but you can try to get on the board.
I was put
Riley,
on the spot.
I need you.
Okay.
I
I'm
need
sorry.
you here. You need this.
I do.
You can't win, but you can
All
close
right.
the gap.
Round 3. The category is Star Wars. Any Star Wars title, not just movies. It can be video games, books, TV shows, movies. Star Wars. Noah starts.
The Phantom Menace.
Attack of the Clones.
Revenge of the Sith.
A New Hope.
The Force Awakens.
Okay.
Empire Strikes Back.
I could not think of it. Return of the Jedi. There it is.
The Last Jedi.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Rogue One.
Han Solo.
It's not Han Solo.
I was doing the quote.
Clone Wars, like the animated movie.
Clone Wars, the TV show.
The Mandalorian.
The Clone Wars, the other TV show.
Andor.
Ahsoka.
Tales of the Jedi.
Tales of the Sith.
Is that okay?
That's a thing that just came out.
I thought it was Tales from the Empire.
please, come on. Look
Okay,
it up.
I got to fact check that one.
I think you're right
Show
because
me the money.
the money. Darn.
on.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, like I think those are Tales of the Empire. Yeah.
Bummer.
Let's go.
You guys didn't even get into video games.
I could have kept going. I just said the title incorrectly.
Sure.
Let's keep going.
No, I won.
I only had 3. I mean, oh, you saying
I would keep going with Star Wars.
No, I won.
He's scared.
I'm not scared. I just want to.
Well, you won that round, but I won the
that's fine.
segment.
Noah was the last man standing. He is Tim Allen.
So now for my turn, my segment.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Trap is coming out this weekend. So it came out Friday, when you're listening to this, last Friday. But Trap is about a guy stuck in a concert. We're gonna kind of go off of that. We're doing the top 3 worst characters to be trapped in a 10-hour car ride with.
Do we know where we are driving to and driving from?
Iowa 80.
Oh God!
We got to go by the world's biggest truck stop.
Yep. That's
Get
where
a
we're going.
drive right by it. Don't stop.
Yeah, which makes it even worse.
That's true. And are we going to like do like 1, 1, 1, or you just say your 3? And...
Oh, we'll just do 1, 1, 1. And
Okay.
then we'll do 2, 2, 2.
Okay, cool.
And 3, 3, 3.
I'll start. So the first person or character that I would not want to be on a road trip with is Donkey from Shrek. You seen Shrek 2? And they're on their little carriage ride to Far, Far Away. He's a bad passenger princess because he's just... I'm the kind of guy whose social battery runs dry pretty quickly. And Donkey would just be trying to talk the whole time. And I would get so tired of it.
But don't you think you'll have some funny jokes here and there?
Does some funny jokes in a 10-hour car ride make up for 9.5 hours, the other 9.5 hours of just me wanting him to just like shut up,
drive into slowly turn into oncoming traffic.
Yeah. I think he would just be wanting to talk the whole time, and I would get so fed up with it right away. And he probably would smell like a donkey.
We know what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first pick is kind of along the same lines of just somebody who was just incredibly annoying, and they were such in their movie, is Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber.
Okay.
Just mock, yeah, and yeah, bird. Yeah, they're just, or like, what's his line? He's like, do you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? Yeah. So he's just like literally on the road trip in that movie, and so it's just I'm with Noah. I would be able to kind of keep my cool for about 3 seconds, and then I would be like, shut up.
Yeah.
So Lloyd Christmas.
Lloyd, I think this is your stop up here.
Yeah.
Mine is kind of like on the same veins. I think he would just start to annoy me right off the bat. I think he's one of the most unfunny characters I've ever seen in movies. Is Jay Chronic from Jay and Silent Bob, Clerks, you name it. He's always saying like an inappropriate joke, and it's probably the least funny thing I've ever heard before. And he just talks all the time. So it'd be nonstop talking with a guy who just is not funny. And
it's my worst nightmare.
yeah,
What about Silent Bob?
he would be fun.
He's cool.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's silent.
So, and then should I do my second one?
Sure.
So my second one is kind of like, I'm trying to be a little creative. So this is when my next pick is so before I say it, you need space in a car, you know, and you want to have that room. You don't want to get cramped up. So at the start of this ride, you're gonna be like, oh, that's fine. He's a cute dog. But guess what? He grows, and that's Clifford the Red Big Dog. So at the start of that trip,
My mind went a totally different direction with that.
So he's
The Red Big Dog.
but he's at the start of the movie. He's a small dog, but he grows.
Over 10 hours?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like this government experiment dog.
But doesn't he grow because Emily Elizabeth loves him so much? So are
Well,
you the one that loves him so much?
No, Jay loves dogs, so Jay's gonna love Clifford.
Canonically, Jay loves dogs.
Yeah,
For sure.
so I'm just going off of on estimated wishes here. So, anyways,
I get that reference.
So, but at the start of the trip, you're gonna be like, "Oh, this is so great," but he's gonna get so big, you're gonna get claustrophobic. It's gonna be too tight for you to move, and it's gonna be uncomfortable. And what's worse at a 10-hour car ride is being uncomfortable. So you're annoyed and uncomfortable. That's my second pick.
I'm kind of with you. I was thinking about like what like makes a car ride insufferable. When it's silent, obviously that's ideal, but then somebody starts eating car ride snacks. Yeah. And I can't stand, I have the whatever that makes like I can't stand the sound of people chewing. And this is going to be such a deep cut. Nobody's going to remember this. But I think about this a lot. In Parasite, I'm not going to no spoilers. A character eats a banana in that movie, and that is single-handedly the grossest sound I have ever heard in my life. Is that guy? He's just because he hasn't eaten in a while, so he gets a banana, and he just is like he is doing unspeakable things with that banana, just eating it, and it's just like. And so I was just thinking, like, if I like trapped in a car ride with him where he just has like a full bunch of bananas,
Brought the bananas.
like no. So
He just finishes the banana. You're like, thank God. And he just pulls out the second banana.
yeah.
And
so
then a girl you have a crush with is like, you eat those bananas so fast.
that's an inside joke. Nice.
Okay, so for my second character, just also on pure annoying factor, it's Coraline from Coraline. Because in the very beginning of the movie, she moves into their new apartment with her mom and dad, and she expects both of them to entertain her. And she would expect you to entertain her for the entire 10-hour car ride. And when you can't, she would start being mean to you.
She would go on a mystical adventure to the other car.
And Coraline is very mean in that movie. She just meets Wyborn for the very first time, and she says, "Why were you born?"
Well, that's his name.
But you don't have to just like be rude about it. So she
would
would
told her see her bullying you too, so that makes sense.
Yeah, and
I would like try to dish it back, but she's just as too quick.
Yeah.
You would just be like,
you're stupid down to your core. Align. And then she would just
yeah. If that's the best you got, then
well,
should
like,
be concerned.
that's right off the dome. You get that one for free. And then for my last pick, I think the internet agrees that this is one of the most like love to hate characters just like in cinema, but it's Percy Wetmore from The Green Mile.
Yeah.
Do you remember who
I
I'm
don't
talking
remember.
about? So he's like the new guy on the mile. He gets there because of his like family influence. But he's just like, he has no honor. Like he's just holds his like power over everyone. Mm-hmm. Nobody likes him. He's like a tattletale. Mm-hmm. So I just imagine you'd be like, I don't know, sitting next to him, and he'd be like, I don't know, rubbing his leg up against yours and be like, I don't know, I'm allowed. He has a southern accent. I'm allowed to do that. Like
my daddy's paying for gas.
You want to get there, don't you? And he pees his pants in the movie, so he probably pee his pants on the car ride.
What if you like made frequent stops so that he had the opportunity to go?
Well, if he's along for the car ride, then John Coffey might also be along for the car ride, and John Coffey is the one who makes him pee his pants. So I think it's kind of inevitable that it's going to happen.
John Coffey would have coffee for everyone.
Yeah.
You guys like coffee?
And cornbread.
Nice. My last pick, I'm just thinking of characters that I just don't like. I don't like the idea of them. I don't like what they stand for. I don't think they're funny. I don't think they're original. And that's the Boss Baby. The Boss Baby not only is such an unlikable character, but it's a baby.
Have you seen The Boss Baby?
No, because I don't like him. But I don't need to see it to know that I don't like it. And he's a baby, so you'd have to have him strapped into a car seat. You'd have to have a baby on board sticker legally. You'd have to change his diapers.
Yeah. Because
on one hand, he's a corporate businessman, which is just such a strange idea for a kid's movie. So you got to deal with that side, but then you still got to deal with the fact that he's a baby. Voiced by Alec Baldwin, who's got blood on his hands.
I mean, he's kind of got like a not the most annoying voice in the world.
Well, we're not talking about just like nails on a chalkboard voice. We're talking about like, what are they talking about?
But does the baby talk in front of adults? Like kind of like Toy Story?
In this scenario, he does talk in front of us.
I appreciate that because I have a scenario too for my next pick.
Okay, go for it.
So my next pick is this character, which I enjoy this character, but this character thinks you did something, and that is Keller Dover from Prisoners. And he thinks you took his daughter. So the whole time he's just yelling at you for the 10 hours. Where's my daughter?
That is very specific.
That is a much more of a scenario than mine, I feel like.
So
you're saying he's not locking you in a shower.
He's trying to torture you for the entire 10-hour car ride.
Yelling at you.
Yeah, I hate being yelled at too.
So you would not survive that basic training.
Yeah, so I would. He's just yelling at you. He thinks you took his daughter, so he's just yelling.
So he thinks you took his daughter. So he's riding with you 10 hours in the opposite direction.
Because you're trapped. You're both trapped. That's the scenario.
You're both in the back seat. You both got your seatbelts on, and he's just like side eyeing you. Where's my daughter?
Yeah.
You're just like staring forward.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. Where's my daughter? I don't know.
For 10 hours. So
please don't torture me. That's a very specific situation.
Yeah, it's funny that your mind went to that place.
It did. So but that's the top 3 characters we would hate to be trapped with for a 10-hour car ride. So
go see Trapped in Theaters, directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, hoping it's good.
All right, I think now it's time
for the hour. I mean, time for the moment of the hour.
Yeah.
To do our Deadpool and Wolverine review, spoiler-free review.
Bye. Oh, sorry.
No, keep singing.
I don't want to make it tough. I just want to tell you that I had enough. Might sound crazy, but it ain't no lie, baby. Bye.
I did see that Ryan Reynolds had to have like a stunt double do all the dancing for
Yeah,
him.
I did.
Yeah, I saw that.
So we've all shared our reviews or our scores on Letterboxd, but I guess
kind of a rarity that we all
agreed. We all gave it
4 stars.
4 out of 5 stars. 8 out of 10, if you will. Which is you're right. It's not very often that we are all on the same page.
I think you two will agree with him, but I just think this movie is messy, but it's a lot of fun. I laughed a lot. I think the action's good, and I enjoyed a lot of the like quieter moments between. I don't know if it's quieter is the right word I would use, but it's between 2 characters. Like no jokes going on, but I really enjoyed a lot of this movie but I do understand there's some like messy things about the movie, and if you think too much about it, it might like bring your score down lower. But honestly, it was just a good time at the theater, and what more can you ask for?
Yeah, at the theater we showed up and people were in our seats, so Riley like mean mugged him. Riley like cracked his knuckles in front of him. It was just like
Riley's like 5 seconds of confidence. Walks up. You guys are in our seats.
And so they got up and we sat down.
Yeah, I slipped all of them $20. So
Riley spent a lot of money to see this movie.
One of the things I liked the most about the movie was the action. And I feel like I've talked to you, Riley, specifically how just like lately with cinema, I've just not been entertained by action like as much as I feel like I once was. And then especially, and this is maybe not the best comparison, but in Kenzie and I watched The Marvels back in March, and I just thought the action in that movie was so unentertaining. Like it looked so choreographed. Like I'm gonna swing my arm now, and you're gonna duck, and now I'm gonna punch, and it just looked. It was very like stiff, and it wasn't good. And contrast that with Deadpool and Wolverine, I feel like obviously with the characters, they're capable of just like, I don't know, not doing more than the Marvels, but they prioritized it. And I think they did really well because the action, I feel like the shots were really well, just like they got multiple angles, they like following shots. The music during basically every action scene was like good. You had the one AC/DC song.
Yeah, I don't know the name of it, but
I don't either. But it was good. And then the Madonna song that I also can't think of the name of. the music made those action scenes even better.
Well, they gave it like personality because there was the music was like 80s music. Interestingly,
80s? Really?
But-
Not the
well,
not
isn't
the
Madonna-
NSYNC song.
Okay, you're right. Not that, but like AC/DC or like Madonna. Okay,
Was
maybe
it
not-
AC/DC?
There was an AC/DC song, maybe not 80s, but there's just like music, and I don't know. Like I would say that licensed music can sometimes be a bit of like a cop out to just be like, look how. I just don't you like this song? We'll throw it in a movie.
Yeah.
But here it felt more like. It felt like, especially like Madonna, Like a Prayer. It felt like a juxtaposition to like the violence and the gore, but it's just like this kind of dreamy sort of pop song, and I think that really works because Deadpool is a comedic character, and so it's funny when it's funny, but it also is just like, hey, this actually does work when you get Madonna behind an action sequence or like a more emotional sequence.
Yeah, I think the score, the music, I love it when a song is like sorry, I don't know what word I'm trying to say, but you guys,
I don't either.
Interconnected?
I don't know if interconnected, but it's like layered within a scene. So like when
Oh,
the music
yeah.
hits like a certain note or a beat,
It's like synchronized. Kind of.
synchronized, like with like the claws and the blades hitting together.
Yeah.
It works so well. And like you said, I think all the songs felt like this is where it should be. I didn't think any song fell out of place. And it made each scene even more, I think, grander, more emotional or cooler. So I
Yeah.
really enjoyed the music and the score.
Yeah. And like another thing we like it is a very funny movie. Obviously the Deadpool movies are all very funny. Deadpool is a very funny character. I think we all agree that it kind of makes the same misstep that Thor Love and Thunder, where it's just like a joke will go on for too long or they'll play something for laughs when it's like could be more emotional. So I think that
I don't know if it's overly
I wouldn't
guilty
say
of that.
Yeah, not as guilty because Deadpool is a more comedic character than Thor. But I would say that it felt more just like, all right, let's ease off the gas a little bit just to give people I feel like some of the jokes, and I just felt like some of the jokes they didn't land. I have one or two in mind, but all in all, it was funny. Like it was very funny. Everybody's laughing. The whole theater's laughing.
I just think I thought these like softer moments landed pretty well actually. But if I feel like they took them too seriously, then it wouldn't have felt realistic for the character. I don't know. I feel like they went on for maybe as long as they should have, and then they cut back to a joke because that's Deadpool's coping mechanism.
Yeah.
But it's
Well, especially if this was like a conclusion, which it probably is not.
I mean, it made like 400
Right.
million
I think it was the 8th highest grossing weekend
and the highest
like,
R-rated
Yeah.
movie ever.
So obviously the characters are all going to come back. It was like if it was more of a conclusion,
yeah.
then I would have wanted even more emotional impact. But since it really wasn't, then I can let it
think
slide.
Deadpool is going to have a part in Avengers movies and movies going forward.
Yeah, I'm
And
sure.
Wolverine.
Yeah, no doubt. Anything else about the movie that you spoiler free?
Yeah, spoiler free. I just think good time at the movie, and I had a lot of fun with it.
I would agree that it's definitely one that I feel like while we were watching it, like I was picking it apart a little bit, and afterwards we like agree it's like it's a little messy. But over the last couple of days, when you think about a movie after watching it, I had a lot of fun watching it, and I kind of like with Spider-Man No Way Home, where I feel like this isn't spoilers per se, but Spider-Man No Way Home had a lot of cameos, and that was a lot of the big draw. Much like Deadpool and Wolverine has a lot of cameos, and that was a big draw. Despite that, I could see myself going back and rewatching this and having like a really fun time.
Which is interesting because I was telling you the opposite. I was like saying like I know my score is going to go down on a rewatch because
I don't know if my score would go up. I think it's a solid 4 out of 5.
I could see it staying the same, but I could also see it going down for the reasons that I've talked about, where it's just like once the initial impact of the cameos or the novelty of the Wolverine costume or whatever wears off, you are left with, well, what is the rest of the movie? And the rest of the movie is still fun and action and diverse cast, but it is also a lot of kind of I don't want to say one trick pony, but just moments that aren't meant to hit as hard the second time. And stuff that doesn't hit as hard the first time, like shortcomings of the movie where it gets messy. I wonder if those would feel more in your face on a rewatch. Maybe they won't, but maybe they would.
I think it all, because I saw the movie again last night, so I've seen it twice, and my scores stay the same. But I'm also tend to, if I like a movie, I'll just go in, rewatch it, and then probably have the same score. I usually don't rewatch a movie, and it usually doesn't go down. Besides, for example, Rise of Skywalker. Like I like to see movies again in theaters, and I definitely picked apart a lot more things last night in the movie. Like, I don't know, how does that make sense? But in the end, I think if a lot of times we have to suspend disbelief as movie watchers.
Yeah.
But sometimes like those are too glaring to suspend your belief. But I think you could pick apart this movie if you want to.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the goal of the movie, is to be a perfect movie. It's supposed to be a fun movie for you to have a good time with and to make you laugh and for you to enjoy. And I think the themes worked well. I really enjoyed some arcs of characters, and in the end, I still think it's a good movie.
I agree. I found with myself, a lot of times I'll watch a movie and like on the initial viewing, I'll pick it apart and I'll be like, oh, this movie wasn't that great because blah, 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 blah. But then if I choose to watch it again and I actively go in with the mindset of like, this movie's not trying to have a perfect story. It's trying to entertain me with its characters and its action. I'm able to just kind of go in with that mindset and enjoy it more, or at least enjoy it as much. It's in the very same way that if I don't want to like a movie, I'll probably not like it a lot less.
Crazy. Crazy how that works.
Yeah. So anyway, I'd see myself watching this movie again and just kind of rolling with it, accepting the shortcomings, but still liking it all the same.
I think No Way Home deserves another rewatch from you.
See, okay, and you're probably right, but I just don't have a desire to watch that one.
And that would be
again.
the thing. If Noah doesn't want to watch it, he's going to, and you urge him to watch it, then he's going to go in thinking, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the mindset becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
You have to inception the desire to watch it on my own volition.
The entire plot of Inception, but it's just Riley getting Noah to watch Spider-Man No Way Home.
Just wake up. You know, Tom Holland's not that bad.
So do we want to get into spoilers?
Let's do it.
Some
Let's do it.
specifics. All right. So this is your fair warning. Spoilers from here on out. We will be doing trivia still after this. So maybe I'll put up, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put a time card on there to jump to.
But you have been warned.
Yep.
They'll come in the comments for us. Okay.
So spoilers.
I think the cameos are a lot of fun. I really enjoyed how, besides I'm not a fan, like, I think it's cool to have Elektra in the movie. She's probably the worst cameo of all the bunch.
And it was just,
she doesn't get a whole lot to do.
Right.
Her action
She's not
scenes,
that powerful compared to the others.
So, but I thought it was pretty cool to see Wesley Snipes as Blade, even though I didn't really watch the Blade Trinity.
I've never watched
but
it.
seeing, like, Channing Tatum has been trying to be Gambit for so long.
He showed up and I was like, interesting.
Well,
I was going to say, back in like middle school, high school, I was like a big Gambit fan, and I remember them talking about
Noah's just in his upstairs room just trying to
Yeah.
with the
Just
deck
like
of cards.
trying to speak French, but I'm just speaking gibberish. Yeah, I thought he was so cool. And then, yeah, at the time, Channing Tatum's going to be in a Gambit movie. Let's go. And then it got canceled. So then
I didn't realize that it had gotten that far.
Yeah.
Well, have you seen like they had like the whole 20th Century Fox like X-Men universe?
I saw that.
It was like a photo.
It's from
of,
like 2015 or something.
Yeah, of everyone. And Channing Tatum's in it.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, because they planned on doing this movie. And so to actually see him in that role was pretty cool. And has some good action and stuff.
Yeah.
I just the music when they were all stepping in like one at a time. The
score.
I think it was called like I Have Some Friends. I looked it up because they play that when the Deadpool, the hundreds of Deadpools are coming out of the portal as well. I was just like, this is pretty awesome. Like I obviously
I don't remember.
I
how
don't
that
care
goes.
about Elektra at all. I mean, Blade is cool. I haven't seen the movies, so it's like it wasn't so much like the cameos themselves, but it was more just like the presentation. I was like, all right, this is pretty awesome. And then did you think when she was like, there's one more?
I thought it was going to be
I thought it was going
Ben
to be Ben
Affleck.
Affleck's Daredevil.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be Ben Affleck. I'm like,
I was going to be like, no way.
I think that would have been like a cherry on top if he was in this movie.
Which they went out of their way to say like Daredevil's already been killed.
And she's like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because they were married in real life.
Yeah.
Just
Same with Blade when he's just like, I ain't never getting a rebrand or whatever.
Yeah, there's only one Blade.
Yeah, and then Deadpool just like looks at the camera.
But Blade also says, I don't like you, and Deadpool's like, you never did, because and in Blade Trinity, Ryan Reynolds was in that movie, and there was like on screen off screen, like there's real they got into it. And then we can't forget Chris Evans.
I was telling you. Well, sorry. Were you going to say something with that?
No, I just you told me that the escape pod.
Yeah,
they called it.
Unfortunately, that's like a pretty fun, like as far as like cameos go and reveals. That's a pretty fun one. Like I'm like, all right, that's cool. But the Andrew from the escape pod is playing 4D chess, and he like predicted that would happen. Yeah. So for me, it was a little bit less of an impact because I kind of already.
I didn't see it coming at all. I really should have thought about it, but yeah, I was like, okay, they got Captain America here. He's going to say Avengers Assemble, and then he says Flame On. I was like, okay, I did not see that coming.
It was great. I remember him saying that now, but I don't know if that was like in the back of my mind, like osmosis, like it was there.
That is not the word you're looking for.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Subconscious.
I don't know.
They were like drafting just like wishes for Deadpool Wolverine. That's when he said it.
But I knew when I saw him, I'm like, he does not look like Captain America.
He looked thinner.
Yeah.
I thought he just like straight up did not.
So and then I was like, is he gonna be Johnny Storm? And then I thought it was cool how I think the post-credit scene was really funny.
Oh yeah.
It was
I thought that it played out well.
I thought it was interesting how the post-credit scene like didn't really tease anything, didn't really
I think Marvel's
suggest
learning.
But also it didn't say like Deadpool will return.
Yeah, I also caught that.
I thought about that. Like, I mean, we talked about how much money it made, and so it probably
I don't think there's no aspect or no like possibility where Deadpool and Hugh Jackman Wolverine doesn't come back in future movies.
See, that's what I was wondering if this was going to be Hugh Jackman's actual last performance.
They didn't really insinuate that.
Well, they joked he's going to be playing this till he's 90.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Like at the towards the end, like they split ways, and I was like, oh, he's walking away, but then they got back, and so I really wasn't sure.
I think another problem I have with this movie, which I think I've seen a lot of people have this problem, is like there's really no consequences for like the MCU. Like this doesn't like
Well, that was one of my thoughts, is that I saw in an interview Kevin Feige was like, if in terms of Yeah, and impacting the MCU, Infinity War is a 9 and Endgame is a 10. Then Deadpool Wolverine is an 8.
Yeah.
And I don't see that at all.
The only thing I can think of is like Deadpool's character arc, and now he's like more of a hero. But
it's like they're talking about like this opens up the possibilities of like all these Fox 21st Century Fox characters coming into the MCU, and I don't think it really does that.
unless
Or like brings any MCU characters into that world. Like I don't.
Yeah, and everyone who came from the void into the real world died, right? All the
Other than
Deadpools, but like
Wolverine.
the Casanova, what's her? Cassandra Nova.
yeah, Cassandra Nova.
She died, right? Well,
Yeah.
presumably.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second.
But yeah, Kevin Feige, I saw the interview too. Like, but this honestly, in reality, it feels just like a 2 or a 3 of like the impact it has on the MCU.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless we don't know that. And I was watching. Paradox says my higher up said that they need you for something down the road. I just don't know what that is yet.
Okay. Yeah.
To Deadpool, and then Happy Hogan says, "You like the Avengers don't need you. The Avengers don't do it because they need it. They do it because people need them to." And at the end, before Deadpool grabs the thing, he says that line.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking now that he's gonna become Avenger. Like that's basically the movie's setting up to is that he's gonna become Avenger, which. How they're going to do that. I trust them. There's a lot of questions now of like how is this going to be connected to all the Avengers movies, like all this stuff. But maybe we just don't see that yet because I think they're going to have to pay off that Thor joke.
You're right. That's what
Right.
I was like. I was thinking that was going to be a post-credit scene.
Yeah.
So,
Because he says it 4 times. Like
Right.
he gets knocked out, and each time he wakes up, he says
Yeah.
something about
Yeah.
Thor.
That's a good point. Yeah, hadn't thought about that. Just as far as like our nitpicks go, I feel like the way like Cassandra Nova is defeated it feels like a cop out if I'm using that term correctly, because she's basically like this omnipotent being who can,
evil Charles Xavier.
yeah, she can do
Who
whatever
can
she
walk.
wants, and so should be like nigh unstoppable. And the way she's defeated is she's standing at a machine and it overpowers her. It just seems a little cheap, but at the same time, it's like I don't know how they would have defeated her otherwise.
I think you kind of get written into a corner when you have a being or like a hero or a villain that's that powerful.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because like she just kills Johnny. Like
Yes, yeah, she
could do that to anybody.
Did you feel that it was cheap writing that she just pulled out a sling ring?
Oh yeah, I thought that was kind of dumb.
I saw this though. How does that sling ring go to? Can it travel multiverses? I thought it would only can travel to like certain places in that universe.
Yeah.
So can like Doctor Strange? Can he just like multiversal jump now because they're in the void,
Right.
And they travel back to the. It's like 10005 universe.
Yeah.
It's just how can the sling? It should have been a temp pad with the TVA instead of a sling ring.
Yeah.
It should have been that.
Is it also like implied that one of the Doctor Strange's
Variants
is
got
in
killed.
okay? That could have been like a fun reference if there was like a prior Doctor Strange out there somewhere.
And I'm also like wondering why they didn't use any of the X-Men, like any past X-Men for like even for like flashbacks. I think I don't know, but
They mention them.
they mentioned them. I don't know if that would have been if that would help the movie, like have those flashbacks of like the Wolverine's world that the Wolverine we're with. But honestly, though, I'm okay with it not because I think Hugh Jackman does such a fantastic job in those moments of like conveying his hurt, what he's going through, that he's the worst Wolverine. And I'm just one of my big pros of this movie is just the Hugh Jackman scenes when he yells at Deadpool, when Cassandra Nova's in his head, like
when they're both in the Honda Odyssey, just in the front seat talking about the educated wish. That's actually I think it's a pretty good scene where like Hugh Jackman's face, like Deadpool goes on the whole monologue, just kind of like wearing his heart on his sleeve, and he's just got his
Yeah.
claws out. He's like,
Yeah.
did you just say you made an educated wish?
And he's like, God's best joke is that you're alive, but that's on all of us.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then Deadpool like stares at, so like you're kind of waiting for Deadpool's response, and he just kind of stares at him.
Yeah,
and then he's just
quiet.
like, "I'm gonna fight you now." So
Yeah.
it's like that's his kind of way of kind of like you said, like coping. Like he just brushes it off, but you do kind of catch that for a moment of just the silence of.
It is kind of funny how they make a reference to the fact that Deadpool somehow hopped through time and brought Vanessa back to life.
He brought her back at the end of Deadpool 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry, it's been too long. Wait, how did he do that?
He had cables.
Okay, never mind.
And he's wearing that when he sees Happy Hogan, which that like a lot of this movie they don't explain.
Well, they make a reference to like you brought me here because I jumped through space and time to bring my dead loved one back to life, and then Paradox is like, no, we don't care about that.
Well, that was like in the trailers. I think the trailer was kind of leading
okay.
to think that they'd be cleaning up the mess he made at the end of the second movie. But then
Yeah.
they were just like, nope, never mind, which is kind of a frustration I have with Marvel consistently insinuating the story will be one way and then just...
Well, the entire fact that you think that the TVA is recruiting Deadpool to help them, but it's really just a defect or a branch of the TVA that broke off and has gone rogue. And so it's not the actual TVA, it's
Right.
just this rogue group. And so I didn't like that quite as much.
Yeah, I honestly I didn't have a too bad of a problem. I think I don't know. I just haven't been a big fan of the TVA since they've been introduced in Loki.
Not that I'm like a huge fan
Yeah.
of them per se, but it felt like there would have been more ramifications if it had been the actual group versus just this
Yeah.
rogue squadron.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think our friend Nate, he leaves really good reviews, writes really good reviews on Letterboxd, but he just talked about how, just in general, talking about the TVA, just how Deadpool, obviously, like we've said, like it works, like it's a good movie, but at the same time, everybody has multiverse fatigue, and Deadpool sometimes feels more, it feels more appropriate to have just more of like a self-contained revenge story. Like the first or the second movie, or the second movie is a little bit more of like the redemption, and I think
I mean, as opposed to the end of the world.
End of the world, multiverse, all that, which is, I think they did it well, but at the end of the day, I personally am going to prefer the first or second movie over this one because
It's self-contained.
because it's not trying to do anything. It's not trying to rewrite the MCU.
I rewatched the first and second Deadpool leading up, like in May or June, and I prefer this one over the other two. I think I feel like I enjoy his dynamic with Wolverine way more than the other characters.
with Colossus or
Yeah.
Cable or whoever.
I prefer that dynamic, and I think I like the story of like not mattering, and like sometimes you're the worst this. Like I really enjoyed that part of like this is the worst Wolverine, and because sometimes
And then what's X-23 is like, "Wait, I'm not the right man for the job. You never were."
till you were, till you are, or till you were, something like that.
I think it's what you never were.
Then yeah,
But when he grabs, when he does the chains, she finishes it like because they do flashbacks.
I missed that.
So,
I mean, I thought her
yeah.
line alone was right, but just on the point of the multiverse fatigue, which the movie pokes fun at, like when all the Deadpool show up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I thought that fight scene was really cool.
it's like old boy sort of.
Yeah, it's all one continuous shot, and it's just pretty good action. But I was like, okay, it's Deadpool versus the Deadpools. Like,
Did you see who played a cowboy Deadpool?
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Then Blake Lively played
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Right.
yeah. So it's kind of fun, but and I don't know who they would have put in that place. But I kind of had an unimpressed look on my face when all the Deadpools walk out because it seemed. I don't know.
I didn't mind
I'm
that as
kinda
much
tired of it.
because my understanding is that a lot of those do exist in the comics,
Why?
especially that like floating skull one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was more
Just like,
the
at least it
cameos.
comes from somewhere.
Sure, but why were all the Deadpools fighting him? I missed what's their desire to kill him?
I think they just didn't have any sort of motivation to be a hero.
Yeah.
So
And I think also Cassandra Nova said, like, don't worry. She says to Paradox, don't worry, we're not going to get interrupted. I have some friends come in.
but why? Okay, so it just
She
they're
had-
under the
she had
thumb
recruited them.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I also think this movie does a good job with the multiverse better than Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Like, I like it when Deadpool has that montage of going to different multiverses. Like, I wish Doctor Strange did that.
That was
comic
fun.
accurate Wolverine.
Yeah,
Short-
it's
And then the Cavalrine was pretty
Yeah.
fun.
fun. That's a cameo. That's like that. Is that going to age well? We'll see.
Yeah.
But it was
I
fun.
mean, yeah, maybe
I have
not.
an idea. I don't think he's going to be Wolverine, but I think he's going to be in the MCU as a different character.
Captain
Probably.
Britain.
So, but I did enjoy. I wish they would have showed a little more of the Hulk versus Wolverine.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
about
that was.
That was a cool suit. I thought the suit looked nice. It was like the brown Wolverine suit. But yeah,
Oh, and then the one where he's crucified.
yeah, it's
like
a cover of a I think an X-Men comic.
yeah. I wish I knew more about what was going on there.
Yeah,
Looked pretty grim.
gnarly.
But do you guys have any other thoughts?
More thoughts than I thought.
Not
I would have.
truly. I mean, I'll just close with saying I had fun with it, and I could see myself going back and hopefully enjoying it the same amount.
Perhaps I need to rewatch Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Oh, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I would like that. Yeah, I think I'm excited. I'm hoping like we can have these feelings of like we enjoyed an MCU movie coming out of it, and like giving it at least 4 stars. Like, I like when we see an MCU movie and like that was fun.
Yeah,
And who knows what the future, like there's a lot of things coming out. It could be good, could be bad. But I'm grateful that we got to experience Deadpool and Wolverine together. So it was a lot of fun. Go see the movie, and you probably have seen it if you.
yeah. I was going to say this
right
is
now.
still coming out in
So-
a week, but
So
all right. So we got to wrap up with trivia then.
trivia, and to go off our theme of the MCU, Deadpool is in the MCU. I got our MCU trivia. Okay, are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Don't you? And you said you have like 10
I
questions.
have 10 and a bonus.
All right.
Trivia keeps getting longer.
Well, I brought my A game today.
Okay.
So
All right. We're ready.
I gotta make sure I keep tally of.
Do we want to?
Test your beepers out.
Me.
I can go higher. Me.
Sorry, I just.
Okay, the buzzers are working fine. So number 1, MCU trivia. Oh, sorry. I'm stuck in my throat. MCU trivia question number 1.
Okay, wait. Before you read it. So if we buzz in,
I'll stop.
You
reading.
stop reading the question.
Yep.
Okay.
In Infinity War, Thanos is in search of 6 Infinity Stones, but at the start of the film, he already possesses 1 of the stones. Which stone is it?
Me.
Josiah.
The reality stone.
Incorrect.
Me.
Noah.
The strength stone.
The power stone.
That one.
Yes.
Dang it! Wait.
It's the Power Stone. I would say no one gets that.
Yeah, I like this.
Okay, that's fine.
So number 2, what popular toy gets enlarged during the climatic battle scene in Ant-Man?
Oh shoot! What is it?
Oh man. Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yep,
Oh, darn. I was gonna say Hot Wheels.
that is correct. 1 point goes to Josiah. Question number 3. In Iron Man 2, we learned that Pepper Potts is allergic to what?
Beep. I only know this because this was trivia in the escape pod. Strawberries.
Correct.
Oh, Are we stealing questions?
I didn't steal it from the escape pod.
Stole it from somewhere else online.
No. Question number 4. Before Infinity War, Doctor Strange is the keeper of the Time Stone. What is the mystical amulet that houses the stone called?
Me.
Yep.
The amulet of Agamotto. The Eye of Agamotto.
Yep.
Dang,
That's
I
correct.
was going to take that from you.
Question 5, this might be kind of tough. Just like Riley and Josiah, they blank for a relationship. It's the same word that's also used as the first word of Bucky's activation sequence in Civil War.
Me.
Yep.
Longing?
Yep, correct. Question 6. Who says the line? I want my board.
Oh, okay.
Legendary MCU villain Ivan Vanko, aka Whiplash.
Correct.
I want my board. I'll get you your bird.
Noah, it's the tally right now. Josiah 4, Noah 1. Question number 7. What MCU movie has the following songs in its score? End of the Line, An Old Friend, and The Smithsonian.
Me. Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Correct.
I that's what I was going to say.
Okay. Question number 8. What villain says, "World's changing, boys. Time we change too"?
Me. The Vulture.
Correct.
Dang.
World's changing, boys.
World change, boys.
Question 9. Tony Stark graduated MIT at this age, which is also the same. Some would say the same age Riley got his first kiss.
Some would say.
Yeah.
Me.
Question?
18.
Incorrect.
Me. 17.
Correct.
Yeah, let's go.
Question number 10. Nice Pool gives Deadpool and Wolverine a vehicle. What kind of vehicle was it?
Me.
No.
Honda Odyssey.
Correct. Well, that was question 10, but we have a bonus.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I won.
Yep, Josiah won.
Let's say that I won.
5-4.
We'll see.
I put up a good fight.
Go. Bonus question is, name an actor that has been in the MCU, DC universe, Lord of the Rings, and Star Wars universe.
Me. Carl Urban.
That is incorrect. I don't believe he was in Star Wars.
Wait, was he in the DC?
Me. No.
Wait.
I retract my meep.
In the MCU, DC, Lord of the Rings, and Star Wars universe.
Me. Wait. Okay. Oscar Isaac?
I don't believe
the MCU.
he was not in the Lord of the Rings.
He's Moon Knight.
Oh yeah.
Looking for a specific actor. You need a hint. Yep.
Is Harrison Ford?
That is incorrect. He's
Why do
not
you
in Lord
keep
of the Rings.
looking? Do you not know?
No, I know.
You keep looking.
Making sure everyone we're saying is not also a
No.
right answer. Okay.
Harrison Ford's not in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Give us a hint.
Okay. So the MCU character, he is a villain.
Me.
Yep.
Mads Mikkelsen? He's in Star Wars.
He's not in Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
So, okay. MCU, he plays a villain in... he's in... His first appearance was in Avengers Age of Ultron.
Me.
Yep.
Andy Serkis.
Correct.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of a hollow
That is,
correct answer since I got 2 hints.
Who's he in the DC? Oh, he's Alfred.
Yep.
Yeah, wow. That's a good... Did you come up with that question?
Yep. I did.
That's a really good question.
Good job.
That is our trivia. And Josiah is doing the trivia next week. What is our theme, Josiah?
I thought you were going to say Josiah won.
And
that's why
also,
I pumped my fist.
We can kind of brush past that though.
Josiah won MCU trivia.
Woo! So next week, trivia. I did Best Picture winners last time. Next week, I'm doing Best Actor, Best Actress winners
Okay.
at the Oscars.
All right, let's go.
Okay, let's go. And that wraps up this, no doubt, very long episode. record-breaking episode of the Good Chill Hunting podcast. I don't know what we're at right now, but it's probably close to an hour and a half.
I didn't start my clock, so
That's what I was really relying on.
Yeah, I forgot to.
This podcast is falling apart.
I know it is. I might not be here next week. We'll see.
Okay, that's very ominous when you just say that and don't.
Where are you going?
I thought I'm getting cut off. You guys mentioned it in the past.
Oh, well, you are actually like going on some retreat like next week. I thought.
No, that's later.
Yeah, I just thought that's what you were talking about.
No.
Yeah. Riley might not be here next week. But with that, let us know what you thought about Deadpool Wolverine. Let us know what you've been watching. Let us know if you feel like you know Riley better now because we did Quick 5.
Hi.
Maybe you know him worse, or you wish you knew him worse.
I hope we never do Quick 5 with Riley ever again. I know way too much already.
With that, thank you for watching. Like,
Bye.
comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff.
Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, please.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.